Oh hey, welcome back. Surprised you came back after the horror of the first video. So you want to learn how to solder. Today is the day. Chances are if you own one of these and you don't know how to use one of these, you own something you cannot fix. First off, you're going to have a soldering iron. There's many types, there's many brands. You can get them at the hardware store, you can get them off the internet. The best ones are the ones with a temperature display, and if it can have some sort of battery operated function so you can fix stuff when you're out in the field, because things are gonna go wrong. Always. Things will always break. The thing to know about soldering irons is that you're gonna have to get one that has a replaceable tip. There are lots of different tips and different types of soldering irons. I try to steer clear of these threaded variety. They always seem to come loose and you don't get a good heat transfer from the iron itself. I find that the tips, although tempting because they're tiny and pointy, they require a lot of cleaning and oxidize very quickly. The next thing you're going to need is some solder, leaded. That's what I like to use. I got this recommended from the Kebab at FPV on his YouTube channel. After that, you're gonna need some snippers. Easy enough. The next and most important thing is a bottle of liquid flux or some sort of flux pen. They make them in a marker form. What this does is it cleans the pad from any of your oily fingerprints or crap that might be on it from the factory. We're gonna talk about vocabulary. You want your solder to flow and you need it to wet. And wetting is when it sticks to the tip. You need it to basically wet onto the wire and the tip so that you can get it to flow in between all the wires. Another good thing for beginners to have is some soldering wick. You can get this off the internet as well. It's basically some braided wire, and you can use it if you put too much solder down on a pad. Next, tip tinner. If your tip decides to stop wetting, which means it won't accept solder anymore, you'll know when it happens. You're going to want to clean it really well and use this. The solder sucker, everybody's favorite and most hated thing. I hate this thing. I can never seem to get it to work correctly. Another mandatory item is a sponge, straight from the kitchen. You're going to want to have this damp, some sort of plate that no one's going to get mad if you take from the kitchen. This will end up absorbing, when it's wet, a bunch of balls of solder, which are gonna lead you to have a mess if you don't have some sort of plate. Keep the tip clean. Cleaner than my finger. Okay, that should do it for what you need to get started. Oh, one more guy, one of the most important guys. Johnny Helping Hands. Look at this guy, he's always ready to help you. Look at him. You can angle his arms, you can put wires together. You can even magnify stuff while you're trying to... you can get cheap ones. Look, this one's kind of cheap off the internet. It came probably with a soldering iron kit. Those are tempting, but I've never had good luck with cheap tools. It's tempting to buy cheap tools. However, they will break, they will wear out. Cheap tools, no good. You don't need the most expensive tools. Your best bet is to be patient and plan ahead. Order things you need before you start building. Your local hardware store or big box store will not have a lot of this stuff. The next order of business is a meter. Something you can check to see if you have continuity or a short, and we'll get into that later. This is a long-term goal to have. Good ones, maybe 20 bucks. You can spend a lot. That should be everything you need to get started in terms of soldering. Make sure you get yourself an extra pack of tips. You're going to go through them quick as a beginner. For a frame of reference, this is how big the tips I like to use are. Here are the two variety of tip I recommend owning. The one on the right is a chisel tip, and the one on the left is a pointy tip. If you made it this far, you're probably going to watch the next video. Very excited about the next video. Is a full tinning tutorial. Stripping wires, tinning pads, soldering wires to pads. Until next time, like and subscribe, and remember, keep your gimbals protected.